what's going on, everybody? My name is Dylan, also known as Vijax TV. Welcome back to the channel, and as always, I hope you guys are all having a blessed day. Alright, guys, so in today's video, we are going to be continuing our beginner's guide. This should be episode 5, and honestly, we've covered a good bit in this game so far. You guys should be getting like the general basics of the game, what you're really supposed to be doing, which essentially is just, getting better weapons and armor pieces, looking out for really good rolled, armor pieces and weapons. We talked about the stat rolls that you should be going for on each character. And when it comes to weapons, you can take a general look at perks and see, what fits your playstyle. There's damage boosting perks, there's perks for your weapons that help with stability, all that good stuff. It's all preference. Obviously some perks are better than others, but for the most part, it's whatever you find comfortable to use and what you like. In today's video, I figured we'd go ahead and finish out introducing all the different planets, the different locations, as well as the rest of the characters that we haven't met yet. And I mean, we've already covered the main core modes, with Crucible, Vanguard, and Gambit. We might touch on some of the Festival of the Lost in this episode. We covered the contact event and all that good stuff with getting Umbral Ingrams in last episode. So we're just gonna go with it and see where we go from now. I mean, really the big thing at this point is just trying to boost our character level, and we'll probably get into talking about how to efficiently boost your power level and things like that. So here, let's go ahead and get started with meeting everyone and going to all the different planets and stuff. So, we've already been in the Crucible, we've already been in Gambit. I am so sorry. Vanguard. We went to Titan for the Contact Public event. We've been to the EDZ. You've obviously met everybody at the tower. We do have this Shadowkeep mission that I don't know. I don't know if it'll let us run this because we obviously don't have the Shadowkeep DLC downloaded. We could see, but I'm pretty sure that I haven't taken you guys to Nessus, to Io, to Mercury, Mars, the Dreaming City, or the Tangled Shore yet. So we're going to go through to all these planets real quick, just let you see these worlds, meet the NPCs there that you're going to, have a lot of contact with when you go to these places and things like that. So let's hop right into it. So we'll go to Nessus first, and we are going to go meet Exodus Black. She's up here. And I mean, I guess I can help you guys get more familiar with the different activities that you can do on these planets as well. There's three main things that you can do here if you're not doing strikes or story missions. And those three things are patrols, public events, and lost sectors. They can help give you XP. If you have a bounty to do any of these, you know, it's nice to look out for them and know which ones to do and things like that. So we can go ahead and do all that as well while we are here. And each planet has their own set of, I mean, they're mostly the same. A lot of the public events and patrols, are the same. You'll get some variations from planet to planet, but for the most part, a lot of them are the same. So if you do some stuff on one planet, chances are you'll be able to do them on other planets as well. So when we spawn in here, we go forward a little bit and you'll see this big broken down ship. Exodus Black is actually, well, I mean, her name's Failsafe. This is the Exodus Black, that's the ship's name. So Failsafe is in here. And she is actually an AI. She's like a robot with dual personalities. This is actually pretty funny. If you go through the story of the Red War, you'll meet Failsafe, and she's a character.
How can I help?
All right. And so when you go to each of these, NPCs, they'll give you a little quest that you can do.
Captain, hello.
for rewards and
Today
things
I
like
am
that.
thinking about death. As you know, I was unable to save my crew when we crashed on Nessus.
Kind of hard to help when you don't have a body.
Many of the crew and colonists died immediately, but I have wondered if some survived. Sometimes I think I hear my former captain's voice on the comms. That is highly improbable because he should be dead.
So, wanna look into that for me?
All right, so I'm probably not gonna do this little side quest that she has, but I do recommend that if you've never done this stuff before, it can get you more, and give more of a what's the word I'm looking for? An introduction to the planet and things like that. Doing this kind of stuff. So if you want to do that, you can. You do get some rewards from it, but this is failsafe. She's the NPC of Nessus. Whenever you need to do something here, she's the person. I was about to say person. She's the one you come and talk to. So she has bounties that you can do for XP. And also this is something that I haven't touched up yet. Touched on as well is each planet has its own, you know, source or material that it has that you can go and collect, and you need these materials for leveling up certain weapons and armor pieces, and buying certain goods and things like that. So with Nessus you have microphasic data lattice. um, I always just call it data lettuce. But yeah, that's the source that you get here. It's the material. So make sure if you see a pile of this stuff, you grab it. Also, doing these bounties will give you certain amounts of it, but make sure you're going to each planet and you're getting some of these resources. Um, so yeah, and this is the armor set that she can give you when you level her up. You can also use the data lettuce to level up failsafe, and she can give you, like I said, armor pieces and weapons and things like that. So each planet has its own resources and materials and all that good stuff. So while we're here,
Nessus lacks systems.
oh my gosh, I forgot
Result noted.
adventures. So there's not three things that you can do on each planet. There's four. So you can do adventures, you can do public events, you can do lost sectors, and patrols. So um, let's take you through most of them. Let's run a couple things. So let's get to a spot where we can look at our map. We might as well have just stayed up here. We don't want to pull out our inventory and stuff while we're out getting shot by enemies. Alright, so if we pull out our map, these little orange icons that you see appearing everywhere, these are your adventures. So these are your little side quests that you can do, and they'll give you different rewards. As you can see at the bottom, it says rewards, and it'll show you what you could possibly get from doing these. So if you would like to go through the adventures, they kind of tie in, bits and pieces of, the story that wasn't, main in like the main quest, like the main storyline. So it's just little things that you can do here. So, if you would like to do that, that's all on you. But if you look, eventually, sometimes you'll see a blue diamond and it's got a timer going off. This is what's called a public event. And, there's different types of public events. But, I will say that public events aren't as important as they used to be. Back in year one of this game, when it kind of first came out, public events were really good for getting exotic weapons. Well, just exotic pieces in general, and turning them heroic was a big deal. But right now, as we sit public events, unless it's a contact public event on IO or Titan, these normal public events are not going to give you a whole lot of rewards that are going to be super beneficial. But they do give you XP and help you level up. If you get the battle pass, it can help you level up your battle pass as well. But it's just little side things that you can do. Um, and then, like I said, we also have patrols and lost sectors. So when you're just in the free roam, you're on the planet. There's enemies around you and stuff. If you pull out your ghost, you'll see these little gray and white icons around, and these are your patrols. And so doing a patrol will help give you XP. They can give you different rewards like the resources from the planet and things like that. And each patrol is its own different thing. So if you see this icon, this patrol is a scavenger patrol. So what this basically means is when you pick it up, you're going to have to kill a certain enemy type. They're going to be carrying a certain thing that you have to pick up and scavenge. And usually it's anywhere from like 8 to, 13 pieces you have to pick up from killing stuff. It's kind of tedious because, a lot of the times, like I said, it has to be a certain enemy type. But, it's an easier patrol to do. You know, the easiest ones to do though are these right here. So let me kill these enemies real quick. So if you see this one, it's got a diamond in the middle with the 4 things on either side of it. If you see that, this is what's called a kill patrol. And basically what it is you just have to kill enemies that are near you. And, there will be a percentage at the top. We'll go ahead and do this since it's easy to do.
Captain. Fire
And
teams
I'll show you
nearby
guys
report
exactly what we're
massing
doing.
enemy units. Suggest a substantial reduction with details attached.
So as you can see up at the top left under our radar, it says no survivors, enemies defeated. So all we're doing, if you plot your ghost, it'll also give you some more information. So it just says eliminate all targets in Exodus Black. So this is where we are. We're in the Exodus Black area, as you can see when we pull out our ghost. So if you see an enemy, kill it. And as you see, we killed that enemy, and our percentage went up. We're already at 43%. And so we're pretty much just killing enemies until we get to 100%, and that will complete our patrol. So we just got some more enemies over here. And we're done. You don't even have to kill all the enemies, it's just a percentage. So that's a patrol. As you can see, we got 405 glimmer, and I'm pretty sure we got some data less with that as well. So that's patrols. So let's look at lost sectors. So if you look on your map, you'll see icons that look like this. There's like 3 arches. There's like 2 arches with a dot in the middle. These are your lost sectors. So when you see that you're coming close to one on your map, you'll also see this symbol somewhere out in the wild as well. You know, they correlate together. So this is the lost sector right here. We go in here and this is the lost sector. I don't know exactly where they put the symbol for this lost sector. Usually it's right here, right here. So as you can see, this is the symbol for lost sectors. If you see this symbol, you know you're near a lost sector. And like I said, we're on the map here. It correlates with the map as well. So lost sectors are bits and pieces of the map that haven't been uncovered yet. That's why they're called lost sectors. You go down, you find them. You can get triumphs and stuff for finding all lost sectors at every planet. Obviously, you don't have to do these, but essentially what it is they're like these little caves and underground, spaces where there's enemies hiding. There's a boss that hides there as well. You kill them, you get a key code, and you can unlock the chest that's at the very end. So this is the Rift Nessus. This is one of the lost sectors here in Exodus Black. As you can see, we've got some enemies. So really, we're running through. I don't know why I'm pulling out my rocket. I'm used to having a sword. On my main account, I run a sword for PvE, so obviously you don't want to take a rocket out and shoot it super close, But yeah, we're going through this lost sector, and at the end you'll see there'll be a big boss. Some lost sector bosses are harder than others, so if you find yourself getting killed a bunch by a lost sector, you probably need to go and level up a little bit before you do that lost sector. And each of these places are usually dedicated to a certain power level and just level in general in the game. So, I mean, um, what I would recommend for people who are literally just starting is to go to places like the EDZ, places like Nessus, Titan, IO. Um, these are going to be like your lower level places. So I would suggest these three places: Titan, Earth, and Nessus for doing things like public events, for doing things like lost sectors. The enemies are going to be weaker at these places because they're made for starting players. So you know, and if you really just want to stay safe and really get to learn the game and not have to fight really strong and like hard enemies, you can hang out on Earth and just do lost sectors, do public events. I'm sure you can pick up some adventures from Devrim over here. As you can see, a public event just popped up. So there's certain things that you can do here. Um, but you know, as you progress, it doesn't really matter where you go. But if you want to stay safe and you want to, am I going backwards? I think I'm going backwards. But if you want to stay safe and you want to make your life easier and fight easier enemies and things like that, I would suggest staying at the lower the lower planets and things like that. But we are in the room now where the boss will spawn. So you kill a couple enemies. Some bosses may already be up and spawned like this guy, but other ones you have to kill a certain amount of enemies in order to get them to spawn. So with this guy, as you can see, we've hit him with our grenade and we've hit him with our super. He's already pretty weak. Uh, Lord, these little wire rifles from these vandals are pretty insane. They do hurt. So just be careful, but you should spawn up, relatively close and be able to finish it out. But this guy is what's known as a nightmare boss, and he'll have these, each of them have like different things around them, but as you can see, this guy has some nightmare shanks around him. And so if we kill these nightmare shanks, they'll drop these little orange and red balls. And these are unstable essence. So this will make it to where we do more damage to the boss. If you play Shadowkeep, you'll learn all about this stuff and get a feel for fighting nightmares. But we should do increased damage to him, and as you can see, we did. And so you don't have to clear out the space. You can, as you can see at the bottom left, when you first kill him, it'll say, cache code, recovered or whatever. And you can just look for the chest and open it at this point. But if you want to be safe, you can clear out the rest of these enemies and then get the chest. Eventually enemies will start, they won't spawn anymore. There's a certain amount of these guys that are programmed to spawn out. But once you kill them all, you can look around for the chest. As you can see, this is the chest right here. It'll glow blue, and it'll say collect loot. We collect our loot, and that is lost sectors. So that's what you're doing. And so we've got some new stuff here. We got a new bond. This blue one is lower than this one, so. And you can, as you're playing, when you're in these lower power levels, most of the stuff you get will help you progress your power level and make your power level, help boost it. You won't start seeing things stop helping you until you start getting around like, 1020, 1030 power level. So, I would recommend to do as much as you can. There's a lot of things in this game that you can do. Like I said, public events, adventures, lost sectors, all that good stuff. So, do what you can. Get familiar, get comfortable with all of these locations. You know, find stuff. Just roam around. That's the good thing about Destiny. It's not all just fighting. There's other things that you can do as well. And so while we're here, we'll go ahead and do. We got a public event that's about to start here. We'll go ahead and do that. And this is what I was talking about this resource. So as you can see, there's a pile of it just sitting here. Collect data lettuce. You can collect it. There's different piles of it everywhere. You just have to look out for it. And also, depending on what ghost you have, it can help you find stuff like that easier. So, oh lord, let me kill this guy. All right, so each ghost comes with its own kind of like different ability as far as like helping you find resources, helping you find chests and things like that. So I don't know if we'll be able to see what they do here in the collections, but these are all the different ghosts that you can collect through all the different seasons. You obviously have to find them, but as you can see, they come with their own perks, and so look out for the
I'm
perks
detecting abnormal Vex activity in a
as
local
you
quadrant.
discover new ghosts.
These Vex, they're building something.
If you spend a lot of time on a certain planet, check out the ghost, see if it has something that helps you at the planet you're at. All right, so this is a public event. This is the Spire integration public event. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep Vex from coming to this middle spot right here and sacrificing. So that's the normal public event. But if you want to make it heroic, you go to where these little like lines jet out from the middle. So you'll see there'll be like white lines that jet out and they go to a plate. So this is a plate. It's got a little thing that comes up from it. And so to make this thing heroic, what you can do is you can stand on, there's 3 of them. So you stand on all 3 plates, you get them all to 100%, and that turns it heroic. Now, it is a little bit harder to do heroic when you're by yourself, because obviously, while you're standing on a plate, you can't protect the middle of this. We've already had 6 of these Vex sacrificed to this big thing. And that's a no-no. We don't want them doing that, because once all 10 have sacrificed, that pretty much means you failed the public event. So you won't get really good you won't get rewards like you're supposed to. So since we're the only person doing this public event, unfortunately, we kind of have to stay here in the middle and just watch out. So, I mean, that's what we're doing. I wish I could show you guys how to get it heroic, but unfortunately, being on these lower level planets, you're not going to find a lot of people who are going to be here to help you do this stuff. Unless there's a flashpoint, each week, one of these planets gets picked as the flashpoint. It can give you powerful rewards by doing stuff at that planet. So, I wouldn't recommend just hanging out at these planets just for nothing. Try to make sure you're at a planet where there's a decent amount of people who are on there as well and who can help you do stuff like this. Or, if you have friends that you're playing with, that's also good too. They can help you with these public events and, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, we're essentially just holding this place down for another minute 40. Trying to keep the Vex from sacrificing. But if you do have enough people who are here, you really want at least 3 or 4 people here. So that way, you guys can be stepping on multiple plates at a time to make it go faster. But essentially, the biggest thing is not let any enemies get to the middle here to sacrifice, And then these dregs, they're really annoying. They're on pikes. They're on these vehicles that can shoot and do damage, so make sure you're killing them as well, because they do hurt and they will kill you. So we got about another 30 seconds left, and we will have completed our objective. Oh, it moved. All right. Got about 10 seconds. There we go. Public event is done. And you can also get Umbral Ingrams from doing this stuff too.
What do computational processing
But
speeds
it'll have
matter
a
for that?
chest, and a lot of times you'll just get
Answer
Glimmer
suppressed.
and a different planetary material, depending on where you are. But yeah, that's pretty much what you're doing at these different planets. If you're just free roaming, doing your own thing, you know, they have all this little side stuff that you can do. And another cool thing that I haven't really gotten to experience, you know, since I've leveled up a good bit on my account, is finding all of the legendary chests. I can't remember what they're called, but um, they're chests that give you a decent amount of rewards if you find them. So if you look, you'll see these symbols right here. These indicate a chest. I wish I could remember exactly what they were called, but they're like these little gold chests that can give you a good bit of stuff out of them, and I think it's worth trying to find them all and collect all the good stuff because you can get a bunch of materials. You get a good bit of glimmer. So let's see, we've got one right here, and we've got one right here. We actually have one that's pretty close. It's behind us somewhere. They're usually up in high places or just in places where you're normally not looking for them. I think this one is like all the way up here somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, right here, right here. So these are uh, your bigger planetary chests. So this is actually good because we have two of these chests right here. So this is just a normal chest. You'll see these just randomly spawn, or while you're running around, you'll see the chest, and you pick it up, and it'll give you glimmer and planetary materials. We got 420 glimmer and 2 planetary materials. But now, as you can see, when we open this one, it gave us 6 of the planetary materials and 2,600 glimmer. So it just gives you more than the average chest. And I do, if you're running low on resources, if you're running low on glimmer, and going out and finding all of these different chests, I do think it's worth it. And as you can see, when you find it, it will disappear from your map. So be on the lookout for those gold chests as well. They have a name. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me, but you know, search them out. Just look on your map, and you should be able to find them. Like I said, if you don't see them in like a normal spot, they might be higher up, or they might be in like a cave, like hidden away. So, just make sure you're looking through and really trying to find out where they are. All right, so that is Nessus. Pretty simple. Let's go to IO and introduce you to our friend Ashermere. Ashermere, the Grouch. But this is also why I recommend that you go to Amanda Holiday and pick up, the different campaigns. At least doing, the first one, the Red War, it really does introduce you to everyone and gives a proper introduction to them. And you can kind of just go back through and see what happened, see what kind of, you know, what kind of forced us, to be where we are, and just, get caught up. So this is Aya, and if we look to our right, we will see the NPC of this planet, Mr. Ashermere.
Guardian.
And like I said, he is a grouch. But as you can see, he'll give us something to do here as well. And if we do it all, we will get a sniper from him. So that's pretty cool. But as you can see, there's bounties for you to do. He also the material, the resource that you get from IO is called Phase Glass Needle. It's kind of like data lettuce from Nessus. You collect it and you can turn it into him for an IO Ingram, and it can drop you either an IO piece of gear or a random weapon. So you know, I would recommend picking up the bounties and trying to increase your XP, and also get some phase glass. You'll never know when you need to rank him up to get something you need.
Yes, yes,
So,
go.
but as you can see, there's going to be adventures to do here. We're gonna have, there's a little story mission, or not story, but quest that you can do for him here as well. And the interference mission, along with like the contact public event stuff, is always here on IO. Once you've gone through all the steps from the contact public event, you'll eventually get to run the interference mission and get a really powerful reward from it. So, but it recommends power 800, so you can get started doing this. But I honestly will wait until you're, a more comfortable light level, because this mission can be pretty tough. So, but yeah, like I was saying, it's got adventures, it's got public events. There's these chests that you can go here and collect. There's also, lost sectors you can come and do, and then obviously there's the various, different patrols, as you can see, that you can do here for experience as well. So that's Io, and that's Asher. Let's go meet Miss Anna Bray here at Mars. Mars, it's actually pretty cool because Mars was actually a planet in the original Destiny game, but this Mars is like completely different. I guess we're on like a whole nother side of it, uh, but it's pretty cool to be able to come back to this in this game. And so here we are. And so as you can see, with the different planets, there are going to be a whole lot different um, enemies and enemy types. So while we were on Nessus, mainly, the things we were mainly fighting were things like Vex and, Fallen. But here in Nessus, we have some Hive enemies, and Cabal are, I feel like Cabal are everywhere. These big guys, these like brute looking dudes. I feel like these guys are just everywhere. There's hardly a place you'll go in this game where there isn't at least a few different Cabal uh, just hanging out. But for the most part, each planet does have its own kind of like, you know, a decent amount of enemies that's like dedicated to that planet. But we come up here and we have Miss Anna Bray.
Still in one piece?
She's like, she's over Mars, but she's also over the big war machine that we kind of learned about in Destiny 1. It's kind of coming into play more in this game as we progress through the story. But the Warmind Rasputin, he's this like golden age, weapon that humans programmed. It's like an AI that has its own mind, you know. So, its main focus and job is to protect humanity. So, anything that gets close to us, it's pretty much designed to wipe it out. And so
I've been
she's
digging
kind
through
of
Rasputin's
she
data
kind of
repository.
oversees Rasputin.
I found a blank spot in his artificial cortex. It's not like it was erased. His brain is structured to work like ours. It's more like it was suppressed.
All right,
Now, stay
she's she's just telling us about this little side quest that we can do. But as you can see, Mars has its own little event that you can come and do. It's called Escalation Protocol, And essentially, there's 7 different waves of this escalation protocol. Once you get to wave 7, there's a big boss that'll spawn, and you can kill it. And essentially, what that is for the different weapons and armor sets that come from doing that event. So if we look at destinations under our collections tab, we look at Curse of Osiris and Warmind. Essentially, when you're running that event, what you're going to be trying to get is certain armor pieces and weapons. So we go to the second page, and this Yuga Sundown helmet, it's Yuga Sundown gear. This is the armor pieces that you can get from the chests when you kill the level 7 boss. Also, there's like a little side missions and quests that you can do for the sleeper nodes to get the sleeper simulant exotic. It's an exotic. Uh, what are those things called? It's an exotic like fusion rifle. Um, Man, well, here let me go to the gun and show you what I'm talking about. Where is it at? Sleeper simulant. It's called a linear fusion. Sorry. So you get it from doing this quest, the sleeper nodes quest, and it'll show you. It says an exotic quest or challenge. Um, so sleeper simulant is a very good exotic. If you can get, do certain quests, you can always look up the quests and stuff like that on YouTube to see how to get them. But, sleeper is really good. I would recommend doing this exotic quest and getting this gun. But as you can see, it's got like a futuristic little like Rasputin themed theme about it, and so you know. But yeah, and so you can get sleeper nodes from the quest, and the sleeper nodes will give you shaders and things like that. But they'll also help you find these weapons for this badge. And for to get the badge, you have to find everything on at least one character. So as you can see, there's 39 things here that we have to find, and we have 0 obviously because we haven't started trying to find these things. But to unlock the badge, you have to find everything at least on one character. So that's what this stuff is for. When you're going through the sleeper nodes, you'll have a chance to get one of these weapons to drop from it. And it also ties into a seal, a triumph seal that you can get as well, called Wayfarer, which is under the destinations tab. So if you want a seal is pretty cool. You'll get this little title underneath your name, and it kind of shows everybody that you've done all this work to unlock this seal. So you can go through, and as you're going through the different worlds, the different planets, and doing stuff, you can look at what you need to do for the seal if that's something that interests you. It's doing heroic adventures, lost sectors, all that good stuff. So, but it's also tied to the different destination badges as well. You have to do Red War stuff, Curse of Osiris stuff, and if you really want the title, you have to have the DLC for Forsaken as well. So, anybody who has Forsaken, they can do this. And here, real quick, we'll go to the Warmind, and I'll show you what the Warmind looks like before we head out and go to a different space. And we'll probably just go ahead because we're already 40 minutes in, so we'll probably go ahead and wrap the video up after we've met all the NPCs and things like that. Because I mean, we did talk about a good bit of things here in this video so far. We've covered a bunch of stuff with the planets and just doing different missions on said planets. But we're in the mine lab now, and I'll show you the route to get up to Mr. Rasputin. yeah, man, this game is just it's super interesting. There's, you know, for new players at least, there's a bunch of different things that you can do, and you know, it's big, you know, and it caters to all players. You know, whether you're someone who just likes going and fighting just enemies and getting loot, or you're that person who likes to play against other players in PvP and get loot. So, you know, there's really something out there for everybody, and that's why I feel like a lot of people like Destiny, and you know, that's why Destiny 1 was so popular because it kind of integrated both. So I think we may have to kill all the enemies outside for it to let us in. So let's clear the area. Alright. Clear these guys out from here. Why not? These guys are looking at me funny. Alright. So, cleared everybody out. We might be able to go see him. I don't know if we may have to do, you know, certain quests and things like that before this is open. But, you know, eventually you'll get to a point to where you can open this door and you can actually go in and see the Warmind and see what he looks like. So, this is essentially where he's located. All that good stuff. So, those are the people here at Mars. Alright, and so let's go on over to Mercury and meet Brother Vance, who is the head of the Disciples of Osiris. You know, pretty much this cult that is obsessed with this old warlock named Osiris. You know, the teachings of Osiris, all that good stuff. These guys are just obsessed with him. You know. So. And obviously, if you go through the Curse of Osiris DLC, you'll learn more about Osiris. You'll learn more about these guys, you know. So that's why I'm kind of stressing at this point that if you've never played the campaign, uh, go to Amanda Holiday and pick it up and play it. You know, I mean, since we're getting kind of close to the end of this stuff, I mean, it might be pretty cool to go back through the story mission and kind of play everything and see all the cutscenes and stuff like that. So, you know, that might be something that we actually end up doing.
Greetings, Guardian.
I think it'd be pretty cool to go back through and kind of see everything. But yeah, this is Brother Vance, as you can see, follower of Osiris. And he gave us a prophecy tablet. Open your inventory, inspect the details. So we go to our inventory and we have a tablet. This is for all of the prophecy weapons that you can forge here at the lighthouse on Mercury. And so it says two siblings cleaved by time and space, reflections never found alone. The ending of an eldritch race, a path along seen but never known. Concentrated radiolarian culture. So we need one of these, and they can be acquired from public event chests. But I'm also fairly certain that he sells these as well. Yeah, he does. He does sell them. But you need, so there's these concentrated radiolarian cultures which can drop from the public events. But I'm pretty sure you can get radiolarian culture, just like the basic form of it, from you know, you can do it. You can get it from the public events. You can get it from, I'm pretty sure, Lost Sector chests and other things like that. So if you want to do all the prophecy weapons, you know, you can. There's like 12 or 13 of them, I think, and you can forge them over here. So let's see. There's, you know, we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, right? Because I started on this one. So there's 12 different weapons that you can go over here and forge. And we actually have a warlock who's forging a weapon right now, so that's pretty cool. And so It's for the badge that's associated with the Osiris um, and Warmind badge. Oh well, this is exotics. I need to go to like the actual badge, and so it's these weapons right here. So you got the Jack Queen King, the Mechanadel 4. These are all the weapons that you can forge from here. And some of them are actually pretty good. Like the Jack Queen King is a really good hand cannon. It's a 150. 150s are pretty good in the current state of PvP. Something. Even this pulse rifle. It's a high impact frame. High impact frames are pretty good right now. Null Calamity is a 600 RPM auto rifle, and it's actually insane. Like this gun is ridiculous. So, I would recommend, if you have the time and you just want some decent weapons to go through and forge these weapons. Obviously, you know, a lot of this stuff that I'm telling you guys about, a lot of the weapons, they're going to be getting sunset, and sunset pretty much means that they're going to be stuck at a certain power level, and they won't go higher than that. So, a lot of these weapons, they're going to be stuck at 1060 power level, and you know, within the next seasons, we'll be able to get to like, 1260, 1360. And so obviously with those weapons being stuck at 1060, they're just going to be too low of a light to bring with us to do certain things. So, but it's still cool to actually unlock them and get to use them because, even though you can't use them in, more powerful activities, you can still at least use them in regular Crucible and just patrolling around and things like that. Alright, so that was Mercury, and as you can see, there's adventures to do here, public events. You see a theme. You see the theme. Alright, and then now we're going to go to the Tangled Shore and meet Spider. Once you start getting into the Forsaken DLC, if you actually bought the DLC and you start going through that campaign, you'll learn a lot about the Tangled Shore. Spider is one of the big people in that DLC, and so you'll become familiar with with these guys. And Spider is actually pretty important because Spider, as I was talking about earlier, each planet has its own resource and material. Spider actually sells them, and his stock actually changes every day. So if you don't feel like going to that planet for that certain resource, you can go to Spider and see if he's selling that source for like glimmer or legendary shards, and you can pick it up and you know have it with you. Like I said, his stock will change every day. So if he doesn't have something you're looking for right away, just come back the next day and see if he has it. But y'all let me know in the comments if you would like to see the whole. If you want to see me start going through like the actual campaigns of these missions and kind of like, you know,
Excellent.
just going through and
What
showing you
catches
guys
your
the
eye?
storyline, doing the storyline together and all that good stuff. But yeah, this is Spider. The Shore's only law. He's like the big man on campus. He's like, you can compare him to a mob boss essentially. But he obviously has bounties, and he also has these wanted bounties up here that can give you enhancement cores, which is really nice to have for upgrading your weapons and armor pieces. Um, but you have to have ghost fragments to do this stuff. You can get ghost fragments from just doing stuff here, doing the lost sectors, doing patrols, doing all that good stuff. But as you can see, he sells a good bit of stuff, so you can get some legendary shards. I will warn you about these enhancement cores. These go up. It doubles every time you pick one up. So we'll just pick one up to show you. So as you can see, right now, one of these is worth 10 shards. As we pick it up, now it's 20 shards. You pick that one up, it's going to be 40, 80. You see the point. Don't just pick these up and expect them to be 10 the whole time. I did that when I first started. Literally wasted all my shards in 2 seconds. I just wasn't paying attention. So, but he has Glimmer he sells. If you're running low of Glimmer and you have a material he's selling it for, You can buy up a bunch of glimmer, and then obviously he has four different materials that you can buy. And you'll see some of them are worth glimmer, some of them are worth legendary shards. So just come through here every day, and if you have a lot of legendary shards, or if you have a lot of extra glimmer, and you need one of these materials, you can come through here and buy them up. And and yeah, that's the Tangled Shore. Like I said, you play Forsaken, and you'll get really familiar. And then the last place is the Dreaming City. Man, I spent a lot of time here when this kind of first came out with Forsaken. There's a lot of stuff to do here. There's also a seal that's kind of dedicated to the Dreaming City called Cursebreaker. That's one of the reasons why I spent so much time here was to get that Triumph seal. But really, these things aren't that important anymore to do. But as you can see, we have Petrovenge. She's kind of one of the main characters of the Forsaken questline as well.
My favorite god.
You'll meet her, and you'll get to know her really well.
Glad to see you're still in
But
the fight.
but yeah, she essentially has everything everybody else has, but just a little bit extra. On the Dreaming City, there's things called Ascended Challenges. There's a weekly story mission. It has a 3-week rotation. There's 3 different story missions. You do each story mission every week, and you get some powerful gear. Well, it used to be powerful, but now it's just gear. And you complete each week, and but like I said, this stuff, I mean, it's mainly for the seal to get the triumph for Cursebreaker. So let me see, where is? There it is, Dreaming City Cursebreaker. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do here for Cursebreaker. But that's essentially what all this stuff was for, was to unlock that badge,
Glad
unlock
to see
that
you're
seal.
still in the fight.
But she does have some extra things. There is an event here as well. It's called the Blind Well. Essentially, what you're doing is you're going from like plate to plate in this room. You're fighting more and more difficult enemies, and then it gets to a big boss. You kill the boss, you get rewards. They're all the same type of thing. Like, it's all the same, just with differences here and there. Once you start playing this game, you'll start to figure out very quickly that a lot of the stuff is just super similar. Um, but if you want to start getting into raids and getting into doing dungeons, having raid banners and things like that on your inventory is really nice, because these raid banners, you'll see there'll be a little white circle on the ground where you place your raid banner in, and it'll give you full ammo and everything, plus your super, all your abilities. Really nice to have when you're doing raids and dungeons. So if you're planning to do those, I would come by here and pick some of these up from her.
Queen's
But
blessing.
but yeah, that is essentially it. That is this game in a nutshell. There's all these different locations, all these different NPCs, and you go there, you do some stuff, you get rewards. It's literally just that. Obviously, with some storyline mix in here and there, but you guys get the picture. The game's not hard to grasp. The hardest part about this game is just learning all of like the little stuff, uh, the different materials, learning about legendary shards, the different currencies, and learning about the different mods, buying stuff, all that good stuff. So, but that's stuff that you'll quickly pick up on as you actually start getting into the game and playing it. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Hopefully, this did give you more insight on the different, locations. We got to meet the rest of the NPCs that we haven't really met yet, and so I mean, that's pretty much it for the introduction part of the game. We've kind of met everybody. We've kind of learned the general basics of the game. Now, I mean, from here, it's essentially just leveling up and trying to get as high of a power level as we possibly can. And so we're 954 right now. We want to try to break that 1050 mark. So getting 100 more levels before the new DLC comes out. So, um, if you guys would like to see me go through the different story missions, I would be more than happy to do that, to pick up the old quests and go through that with you guys. That'd be awesome. And we'll probably touch more on how to effectively level up your character as the series goes on. We'll probably touch up more on that in the next episode. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm so sorry that it took so long for it to come out. We haven't been sticking to the upload schedule like I should be, and I do apologize for that. But don't worry, we are going to continue putting these things out, and try and help as much of you guys as I can, because I really like this game. I play it all the time, and I do love seeing newer players get involved and all that good stuff. So, and like I said, if you have any questions, I do stream on Twitch, so you can come over, ask me anything you need, and I will try to respond to the best of my ability. But that's going to do it for this episode. Please leave a comment down below if this helped you in any way. And also, if you would like to see me go through those different story missions as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.